Welcome back, everybody. Now today is my 5th installment of my Wish versus As Seen on TV series, probably the most requested series I've had over the last couple years. And that's where I take 5 items from Wish and compare them to the real thing that was advertised on television, and to see how different or similar they really are. Most people know Wish to have low prices and glacially slow shipping, but to me, I know Wish is to be a place where you can find a lot of knockoffs and counterfeits. Now this series has kind of evolved a little bit since my original installment. Originally back in the day, I just wanted to see how the items on Wish compared as far as quality goes, but over 4 videos, I started realizing that pretty much everything on there I've bought has been counterfeit. Even though the listings that I buy from show the original packaging, the original photos, the original marketing materials, what arrives is not always the same thing that is being shown. So all 5 listings that I bought from Wish in this video today all show the original As Seen on TV name, the original As Seen on TV packaging, and the original As Seen on TV marketing materials. So you would think that you would get the real thing, but that's not exactly the case. So let's get started with the first item in this comparison. That is the Arctic hat. Now I reviewed that back in 2019 in Nevada and in Florida, and actually it's gotten so old that I even bought a new one for this comparison. So I've got a 2019 and 21 version, and there are slight differences in the manufacturing of those, and comparing to one from Wish, and here's what happened. Let's take a look at the Arctic hat. Now this is my model from 2019, looking a little bit worse for wear. This part kind of shrunk or something because it doesn't fit as well as it used to. So what I decided to do instead of using this old one is to go get a brand new fresh Arctic hat. Just a quick comparison of the difference between these two. There are a few slight differences. By the way, I don't have the packaging for this one. I couldn't find it. I don't know what happened to it. The logos are slightly different. This one's darker than this one. This inner piece of material here is darker on the newer model and lighter on the older one. The brim seems less shiny in 2021 than it did in 2019. Maybe that's an improvement, but otherwise they're pretty close. It looks like they have made some slight changes over the years. Now let's move to the Wish version and compare how that looks. The packaging looks the same. This looks like the exact same packaging to me. One thing I'm noticing right away is that this is black and this is not black. This tag looks the same. They appear to have used the lighter lining from 2019 version. The strap itself, black. 2019 is brown, 2021 is brown. Not the same strap. And, oh wait, look at this. Look at this. The official version is from Ontel. They don't even spell it right, it says Ontie. It's not even the same spelling of the company name. Clearly a counterfeit version. Come on, Ontel would not have their name spelled wrong. Clearly counterfeit. Did I expect it to not be counterfeit? Of course I expect it to be counterfeit. I'm looking very closely at the type. It does seem like this is a little bit fuzzier, like they just scanned it in, so yeah. Ontie. Get out of here with that fake name. All right, out of the packaging here. One thing I'm noticing, I'm seeing a bunch of these strings kind of like loosely hanging out of there. What's up with that? It looks like they ripped off the 2019 model, not the 2021. And yes, I said they ripped it off. Ontie products. It feels a little bit lighter and cheaper, as I would expect. They probably used the worst materials they could. Tag says Arctic hat. Do I even dare look at what their tag says, if they even have one? Let's see. Oh, look at the bad workmanship in there. Look at that. Come on now. This is terrible. Wow, this is awful. No tag whatsoever. No tag. Look at this stuff just hanging out. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm disappointed or if I'm just completely resigned to the fact this is going to be a bad knockoff. The Arctic hat, you're supposed to get this material wet, put it on your head, and it gives you a nice, cool, evaporative sensation, assuming you live in a dry climate. But I'll go outside and put these on and see how they work. But this is very cheap looking. You know, I swear every time that I want to film outside, it's windy. Every time. Anyways, I'm wearing the original Arctic hat I bought back in 2019, and it does not fit very well. And I covered that in one of my update videos. I don't know if the band shrunk, but because it's kind of a hard hat. I don't know how it could shrink, but it doesn't fit like it used to. The adjustments all the way open in the back doesn't fit. First up, the 2021 Arctic hat. That fits so much, it feels better, it fits better, it feels pretty nice. It's comfortable, it fits well. I think this is what I would want to buy. Let's try the Wish version now. I just noticed there's no logo on the Wish version, no logo. Come on, man, blatant ripoff. Oh, and it doesn't fit. This is like the shrunk version, and it hasn't shrunk yet. Oh, it doesn't even feel comfortable. All that bad construction in there is digging into my bald scalp. It's just not good. Wow, the Wish one is not nearly as comfortable. Well, that's to be expected, I guess. Let me add some water to these and see how the function is after feeling out how bad it fits. You're just supposed to add water to this blue material inside. All right, a little bit of water in there. Actually, a lot of water in there. Oh, it's cold. Okay, well, that's kind of how you want it to function, I guess. It feels nice here in the dry desert heat. It would not feel nice in Florida, which I did try it, the original in Florida. Didn't work so well. But you know, this is the way it's supposed to feel. Nice cold evaporative cooling on your head, nice comfortable fit. You know, I wasn't like a huge fan of the Arctic Cat, but at least it functioned the way it was supposed to, in dry air. Let me put some water on the Wish version and see how that goes. Well, I mean, it's cold. I give it that. The evaporative cooling aspect does work quite well, I guess. I mean, you know, I guess functionally I didn't really expect it to do that bad because evaporative cooling is pretty foolproof. You just get something wet and put it against your skin and it's gonna feel nice if the air is dry. But I can already feel it kind of digging into my head. It's because, as I showed you earlier, the construction around the band is not very good. There's a bunch of different materials poking out and they're poking into my head right now. I'm gonna put the original back on. I really don't need to test these. You know what, putting the original back on, there seems to be more material. It's actually cooler because it's such a larger hat. It fits better on more of my head, so it is, even functionally, it's better. I don't need to go any further. The Arctic Cat Wish version is a blatant ripoff, counterfeit, and it doesn't work as good as the original. I would not waste my time with this version. Look at that, that's all up on my head. You know, it's kind of shocking based on this expert craftsmanship they put in this hat. It's kind of hard to imagine that would actually just bother my scalp. And that's the real Arctic Cat. Look at the difference. Huge difference. I should point out that I paid about 21 bucks for the Arctic Cat, both instances in 2019 and 2021. The Wish version was $13 plus 3 shipping, so 16 bucks. I would rather pay the 5 bucks and get the real thing. Not only is it sold locally, it's still available, but it's much better made. Next up is the OnePower Readers, and that's a pair of reading glasses that was kind of marketed with a bit of a gimmick that I didn't really find worked. But I believe the original OnePower Readers were about 15 bucks. Those on Wish I think I got for about 11. So let's see how the OnePower Readers compare with Wish versus the real thing. These are the OnePower Readers, which are an as-seen TV reading glasses that supposedly automatically adjust from 0.5 to 2.5. They're a decent pair of 2.5 reading glasses. Let's first do the unboxing and then compare to the Wish version. All right, here's the as-seen on TV OnePower Readers. I picked this up just the other day from an as-seen on TV store here in Las Vegas. Now, originally I reviewed it in 2019, and here's the box from that review. Now, shockingly, I actually can't find the original glasses. I think I actually loaned them out to someone a year or so ago, and I don't know what happened to them. So I had the rounded version in my original review, so I figured for this one I would get the squared off one because that's what I got from Wish. And look at this beautiful packaging from Wish. Look at this. Oh yeah. If you've ever seen that video of the warehouse of Wish where the guy's walking across them with no shirt on, that's probably where this was at. Official package has an as-seen on TV logo here. Not on the Wish version. The color's a little bit different. The barcode from Wish seems to be the same barcode as the one from 2019. The official version folds out. This one doesn't fold out. This also has tabs on the side. This one, no tabs on the side. Does not open from the side. This one has a tab on the bottom, the official one. The Wish one does not have a tab on the bottom, so the packaging is different. So I'm already suspicious this is probably a counterfeit. All right, no instructions, no arbitration agreement, nothing, just mangled packaging. It feels very cheap, extraordinarily cheap actually. Look, let's open the official version now. This monstrosity is what the Wish came in. This one is actually a much nicer package. Oh, look at this. We have some paper, arbitration agreement, and some instructions. What do you know? Hey, so far my guess has been right. No instructions from Wish, no arbitration agreement, different packaging. Yeah. You'll notice that these actually have the OnePower Readers logo inside the frame. Not shockingly, these have nothing. The official version is a little more squared. The Wish knockoff is a little bit more rounded. Something else I noticed about the official OnePower Readers is that the frames can actually bend a little bit this way as well. Wish version does not bend that way. And once again, the full review of this product is beyond the scope of this video, so I'll link the full review of OnePower Readers below. But for the comparison, let's try it out. 14 inches, I have it pre-measured 14 inches here, because that's what I'm supposed to look at on this piece of paper. It all looks perfect on here. And actually, is a little blurry actually. I can read all of it, but I'm kind of squinting, so it's quite crystal clear with the OnePower Readers. And they feel, they're cheap. They're plastic. They're not high grade glasses. For 15 bucks, I feel like that's a bit overpriced. Now, I'd say the OnePower Readers feel maybe like dollar store glasses. These feel like worse than dollar store glasses. These are like 50-cent store glasses. The frames don't really bend out. It feels like you're gonna break it when you bend them out. When you have them on, there's not a huge difference. The frames seem a little bit foggy. They don't look dirty, they just seem kind of foggy. 14 inches. Well, I have to admit, I can actually read it no problem on here. So strictly as reading glasses, it's not a huge difference. Let me see here. I'm just kind of trying to figure out which one's better. See, OnePower Readers is like blurry, in focus, very focused, out of focus. Fake Wish version, out of focus, in focus, out of focus. I would say the focus of these are about the same. There's actually also a bit of a tint to the Wish version. There's kind of a slight tan tint to it. No tint on the OnePower Readers. All right, it's very interesting. There are differences. Let's go back over to the table and compare it to this chart and see if there's any difference in the focus, which doesn't seem to be the case for me, but there are slight differences in the lenses. I've got my reading glass strength test. By the way, shout out to Thin Optics, which was my product of the year in 2017. This is the reading glasses strength test guide. I've got this camera exactly 14 inches away, as they state. I have this set to a 2.5 power focus. I use a pair of 2.5 reading glasses, so I'm going to put the OnePower Readers over that. It should be in focus, so let's take a look. That looks pretty focused. OnePower Readers looks perfect at 2.5. Now let's try the Wish. Look at the tint. Look at the difference in color of the paper. It goes from white to just a little bit tan. So it's in focus though. I have to, I gotta give it credit, it's in focus. All right, back to autofocus here. Just take a look at. You could see the difference in the lens color. Wish has a tint to it. OnePower Readers doesn't, and OnePower Readers looks slightly larger. All right, so in the end, the OnePower Readers are not the most impressive reading glasses I've ever seen, and the Wish version is even less impressive. When you count shipping and the cost of the fake Wish ones, it was almost $11, so I'd rather pay $15 for the real thing than $11 for a really cheap knockoff. I also don't like the fact that this one doesn't have the hinge that pulls outward. I feel like these are gonna break well before these will, so it's probably worth the extra $4 for these. Honestly, it's probably worth going to the dollar store and buying 4 pairs and calling it good. Next up is the pillow pad. I reviewed this in late 2019. It's basically a soft triangular pad that has 3 different angles that you could view your devices on. I paid about 20 bucks for that back then, and the Wish version was about the same when you factor in shipping. And not surprisingly, even though it said pillow pad in the listing, it wasn't exactly what I got. Check it out. All right, here is the original pillow pad. I've had this for a couple years now. I use it actually every day. I never thought I was going to use it that much. The one problem with this is that I took the case off and tore it when I put it back in there because this zipper is awful. And the case I can never really get it on right. But despite that, I still use it every day. It's actually quite useful. If you don't remember the review, it has 3 angles that you can set your phone at. They're all varying angles. There's a little pocket, which I've never used. So when I saw this on Wish, I knew I had to order one. So this is what arrived. And this is a very not pleasant smelling pillow pad knockoff. You can tell it's not the same. It's smaller. It doesn't say pillow pad on it. The listing that I got it from said pillow pad, had pictures of pillow pad. This is not a pillow pad. Let me weigh the fake pillow pad here. It weighs 6.6 ounces. And the real pillow pad weighs 9.5 ounces. It's smaller, it's lighter, it doesn't smell very good. But let me try it out and see how it actually functions. Maybe it's actually functional, even though it's a complete ripoff. When I originally reviewed it, I showed it in the back seat of a car. I showed it in different places, but where I usually use it is typically kicking back on my bed. Usually at night, say I'm watching a basketball game or I'm getting ready for bed and I'm on my phone. I find it easier to put my phone on the pillow pad because I'm typically typing, either searching YouTube or typing text messages with my Bluetooth keyboard. So in that scenario, it's not really easy to have the Bluetooth keyboard in the phone. You gotta lay it down, doesn't work. Pillow pad is perfect for that because I can almost have like a mini laptop here. Now let me see on the cheapo pillow pad, very light from Wish, very cheap. Let me see if it works, maybe it will. All right, holds the phone like that. Let me see, there's different angles. So this is the one angle. Now I can tell this is kind of more of a soft velvety material, which feels nice, but my house is gonna pick up hair really badly. Let me try doing a YouTube search here. I'll try as seen on TV. Let's see. I have to admit that, I mean, there's really a basic function. Either it holds something or it doesn't. But this is one of those rare instances where I must say that because the function is so absolutely basic, all it does is hold the phone, because it's so light. Usually light means cheap when it comes to Wish, and it does in this case, but cheap is okay as far as that goes. So, I mean, I might try this one out for a while. I don't know. It does the job. There's not much of a job to do, but the job that it does do, it does. Just like the original pillow pad, it's just one big piece of foam in there. And unlike the pillow pad, I'm not taking the case off, because when I did it on the pillow pad, I ended up tearing it. And I can already see hair getting on here. I got Bailey's hair already getting on this. It's still a counterfeit. And I'm not sure it was worth it, but you know, it does work. So it's kind of weird with the pillow pad. It's one of those instances where cheaper might actually be better, as far as in some cases, because it's actually lighter, and light is good for the pillow pad. But on the other hand, it's a counterfeit, and do you really want to support that? I don't. So that leads me to the Lock Wallet. That's a ASCII TV product from around 2015. That's before my YouTube channel, so I never actually reviewed it. But there was a lot of products around then claiming to protect you from RFID skimming. This was one of them. It's a pretty basic wallet. It just has 18 card slots and a couple of pouches. And not surprisingly, the Wish version was not the original. All right, it's time to take a look at the Lock Wallet. Now, I never actually reviewed this one, and it's really hard to find the retail packaging now, but you can find the non-retail packaging. This is what the Walmart website's selling. Now, the only one I could find available, unfortunately, was the awesome brown. Instructions are always a good thing. Lock Wallet logo on there. I should point out that you can find the Lock Wallet Slim, but this one's advertising the Lock Wallet, so I wanted the actual version. And here we go. We have a bunch of card holders in here. A lot of them, actually. Wow. Now let's see what we got from Wish. Now here's what I got from Wish. And this was it. This is exactly how it came. It came in an envelope like this. It'd be funny to try to take this into a bar and use it and see if we can get away with it. Anyways, it looks pretty similar. So we've got a pocket on the inside for both. That looks pretty, I mean, there's not really much to this. Pocket on both sides. This one does not have the Lock Wallet logo anywhere. No Lock Wallet logo. And the official Lock Wallet does have a logo. So you have official logo, unofficial, no logo. Before I get to my test of filling the Lock Wallet and the counterfeit Lock Wallet, I noticed one other difference earlier. The real Lock Wallet has this cutout. I believe only the prototype in the very first version of the Lock Wallet did not have the notch. They added it later on. So the Wish version must be copying the first edition of the Lock Wallet. All right, so supposedly you can hold 36 cards in the Lock Wallet, which I don't think you would ever want to hold that many. That's probably why they have the Lock Wallet Slim out now, which is 12, which is more realistic. But they said 36, and I did count. Both of these have 18 card holders in here, so you're supposed to double it, which seems like a lot. The quality of the Lock Wallet seems, I don't know, kind of what you would expect, I guess. The quality of the fake one is a little bit thinner. So I'm going to put my ID in this section right here, which it fits nicely. I guess that cutout helps a little bit. It's already difficult, and I haven't got to the Wish one yet. All right, here we go. Getting the first one in there actually is helpful, but pocket tripod struggling. Oh, I got it in there. This could be easier to fill. This is going to take a while just for this one. I'm going to have to fill in a lot of this space with my business cards, which I'll do. I'll do it right now. Just for the record, my disdain for the original Lock Wallet is growing by the second, because this is absolutely horrific trying to get this in here. I have so many more to go, and this is not fun to load. This is not a good wallet. I guess I'm glad I never reviewed this one, because this is not good. I can only imagine the Wish one being worse. Wow, I finally loaded it. I actually feel traumatized trying to load this Lock Wallet. It was awful. I'm not a fan of the fact that they don't even have like a proper money pouch. You have to stick it in one of these pockets on the side. Not a fan of that. That's just going to make it 10 times thicker. All right, here it is. Very thick. Look at this thickness of this thing. Put it in my back pocket here. That's not good, man. That is not good. Get that out of here. Wow. Filling it with all 36 cards was a terrible experience. I'm not happy with that, but it worked. But it worked. The problem is that those card holders are so thin, you have to kind of pull them apart and try to get it in there. It's like threading a needle 36 times, not fun. I can only imagine how this one's gonna go when they have even thinner card holders. But we're gonna do it right now and see what happens. By the way, taking things out of here once you've got it loaded is not so bad. And if you've got a card already in there, it kind of holds it open for you. But when it's not, it gets ugly. It's very thick. If you're not going to put it in your pocket, it might be all right, I guess. Let's transfer the contents to the fake lock wallet. All right, so I don't have that slot right there, but it still comes out easily. I guess it didn't really need it that much. I'll do the money first. All right, it's about the same thing. I'm surprised the pocket tripod didn't fit in there, but it did. But man, is that thin. That is like tracing paper. All right, I'm gonna fill the rest up with my business cards. Wow, that was a pain. But I got it filled up here. Look, I guess the good news if you're a big fan of Wish is that this one functionally does work as well as the original, although this is a counterfeit. It feels very cheap. The zipper feels cheap. I do feel like it's probably not gonna last as long as the original. The original I'm not a big fan of either. Kind of as with the OnePower Readers, it's like you get kind of a cheap original and you have an even cheaper knockoff. So I know which one I would pick, and it would not be this one. Those paper thin card holders are probably gonna tear much faster than these are. These are thin, these are thinner. Let me put this in my pocket though. Once again, I'm off to the side. I feel like I'm sitting at an angle. The bottom line, functionally it's not terrible, but it's definitely a counterfeit. So yeah, the lock wallet isn't great to begin with, and so why would you want to buy a cheap counterfeit? I'll pass. And finally, it's the Magic Tap, which is an Ashley on TV drink dispenser. It's an older product, but I reviewed it last year in my Drink Gadgets video. It's basically a battery-operated dispenser that can go in drinks and dispense liquids, supposedly to make it easier than pouring. It was a bit iffy to me, but I was curious how a Wish version would go, and it was about as expected. Here is the actual original Magic Tap I bought this a couple years ago. This is an older one, but you can still find it somewhere. This has been used, I just have it back in the box. This was in my Drink Gadget video from last year. So look at this, it's actually discolored from being so old, but it does work. And the way it works is it's basically a siphon. You put this in your container, put a couple of AA batteries in here, press the trigger, and it comes out. You're not supposed to do it with alcohol, you're not supposed to do it with carbonated beverages. There's some limitations. If you want to see a full review, watch my my review on the link below. But let's look now at the Wish model. And this is how it came from Wish. That's right, 0 instructions, no packaging. This came in an envelope, just like this. All right, so let's compare the two of these here. Besides the discoloration on the original, they look kind of the same. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Where's the logo? There's no logo. Am I surprised? Not really. I just washed this one off. I'm going to wash this one when I get to the sink, but let me see here. Take the case off. Take the case off both. Yes, they're both plastic. This plastic from the Wish one seemed paper thin. I have some brand new Duracells. Not going to go with these used batteries. Going to go brand new Duracells. It works. That's good because it worked a few months ago, so it should work. I'm hoping this one works because I want to compare them. Let's see what we got here. It's of course not working. It's not working because this is not even the right spot. Come on now. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that spring into the right spot, otherwise it's not gonna work. All right, I managed to get the spring back in place. It was not easy, and I shouldn't have to do that. But let me try now. Cross my fingers. Oh, it's running, but it's not turning off. I can feel it's vibrating. Oh, if I pull it out, it'll stop. Wow, that's bad. All right, well, at least I got it working, so let's go try and see how it compares. So I've got this cup of water here, and I'm going to just show you a baseline how the Magic Tap itself is supposed to work. So all you do is insert it into the liquid, press the trigger with the glass. Very simple, very easy. Very oddly satisfying at the same time. Wow, it just drained that entire cup. Very nice. Now let's try it with the Wish version and see how that goes. Here we go so far. Let me see. The batteries are in there, but it's very touchy. The trigger wants to stay on the entire time. So here we go. Oh, it's working too. It seems to be working about as well. Yeah, now look, it's still going though. It won't shut off. That's a problem. I think what I'm gonna have to do is the first annual Wish versus ASEAN TV Magic Tap race. That's right. we're gonna do 2 bottles of apple juice side by side at the same time. See which one's faster. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these 2 identically sized Coke glasses. I'm gonna put the Magic Tap in one, the Wish version on the other. And the Wish one is definitely a counterfeit, by the way. I mean, sold as a Magic Tap, description said Magic Tap, the product does not say Magic Tap. Counterfeit Magic Tap and the real Magic Tap at the same time, and whichever one gets up to this mark on this Coke glass right there wins the race. Fake Magic Tap, it just kind of rests on there. I gotta be careful with this trigger. This trigger wants to go off real easily. Now the real Magic Tap, now I found the Magic Tap to be a bit touchy, but it doesn't stay on like the fake one does. Here we go. This could be a bad idea, but I'm gonna try it anyways. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's close. It's close. Magic Tap's a little bit in front. It's close though. And Magic Tap won. Magic Tap won just by a hair. Wow. Okay, well, you know what? I was certain something was gonna go wrong with that. But you know, I mean, really, the fake one doesn't really perform that badly, except for the fact that the trigger sticks. It sticks open, so even if I wanted to like it, I couldn't recommend it over the official Magic Tap. Not to mention the original Magic Tap was under $7. It's not like exactly expensive to begin with, so I don't know why you need a counterfeit of something that's already that cheap. I have to give it credit, it does work. It did fill the glass, it does do what it's supposed to do, but the fact that it's a little bit slower and the trigger sticks, that's the big one. I still give the edge of the real Magic Tap, and I don't even think the real Magic Tap was more expensive. So even though there's no major differences, I still think the Magic Tap comes out on top. So yeah, we're 5 for 5 in the counterfeit department once again. I mean, this is my 5th video, and it may be my last in this series because I think I've stated what I have to state. I've bought almost 30 items from Wish in this series, and I think almost every one of them has been fake. I think in some cases the vendors might be selling a clear knockoff, but they want people to know what it's a knockoff of. But in some cases, the packaging is clearly meant to fool the consumer into thinking it's the real thing, like the OnePower Readers, clearly a fake. Same with the Arctic hat. So yeah, I guess I'm just not a fan of Wish.com because I'm not a fan of intellectual property theft. But until we stop supporting intellectual property thieves, the problem's only going to get worse. If you've had experiences with Wish.com, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.